Good morning. It's April the 11th, 2018. Time to kick off another trading day. Hypothetical or simulated performance results have certain limitations. Unlike an actual performance record, simulated results do not represent actual trading. Also, since the trades have not been executed, the results may have under or overcompensated for the impact of any of certain market factors, such as lack of liquidity. Simulated trading programs in general are also subject to the fact they're designed with the benefit of hindsight. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profit or losses similar to those shown. Well, the warm-up has begun. We were in the 60s yesterday. We're supposed to be 80 today and 85 tomorrow and Saturday morning. Our brothers along the northern tier of the states, Canadian border, are sending cold weather south. We'll have lows in the 20s and highs in the 40s over the weekend. But getting through this weekend, the long-term forecast says spring might actually show up. So we'll see if that actually happens. Okay, all the talk overnight is Syria. And you talk about telegraphing your punches. Trump does not go to an important conference in South America, which would certainly have helped us with our southern neighbors. Russia has said they're going to shoot down our missiles. I don't know if Russia wants to do that. It might show defects in their technology. China abstained at a UN vote to, I think it was to disclose or investigate the gas attacks in Syria. So the U.S. possibly, there was an article out that said that Britain and France would join the United States in their missile strikes on Syria. We'll see if that happens. But you talk about a widely telegraphed and expected event. That is it. Draghi spoke at 7 Eastern this morning, had little to no impact on the market that I could tell. So we will be trading our normal news with an eye on the tape for updates on Syria, updates on the trade war with China. Now, yesterday's statements by Navarro, by the Chinese negotiator, by President Xi, were all conciliatory. The day before that, Trump had said, we're going to get a deal. So everybody, and if you look at the items on both sides that they put 25% tariffs on, none of them are critical. None of them really impact each other's markets in a big way. So there's more talk to this trade war than probably actually is going to take place. So we'll see what happens. Today's news: CPI unchanged, core plus 0.2, Atlanta Fed's business inflation index, don't know, previously plus 2.1. That's probably about right. Crude inventories. Last night the APIs built 1.8. The EIA inventory report shows minus 600,000 barrels, or a draw for crude. So we'll see what happens on that. 10-year auction, FOMC minutes. So, once again, we can't trade without protective stops because of potential commentary on the trade wars after 10 and commentary on what's going to take place in Syria. Resistance is at 2, so we have a 1 to 5 sell. I think we got a trading range. Emini sells. We don't want any part of the short side on notes, but they can't take it straight up and move the paper that they need to without a big piece of news. Now, what happened last year when Syria was attacked? Equities were off 1%, then reversed intraday. Treasuries and gold were up, then reversed lower when equities took off to the upside. That attack was not widely telegraphed nor widely expected. They didn't know what was coming, and I think they had 60 cruise missiles that went into Syria on that. So I believe what we are going to see on this one is a rumor fact. Sell equities until the attack is made. They run prices down into the attack. The attack takes place. Real quick assessment. Then equities have the potential to snap back pretty quickly. On the buy side, 24 to 28 is support. We have this rally up from 25, so we'll make 25, 29 buy 1, and 17 to 22 buy 2. One of the tough things to do in trading range markets is that it takes good news to get to the top of the trading range or resistance. And we see the market rally up to that and say, oh Lord, I can't sell the market up here. Market looks pretty strong to me. I'm not going to take that trade. Then lo and behold, resistance holds and heads back the other way. So your job as a trader is to sit back and go, well, what has really changed right now that we're at the top of the trading range? Well, one thing is the war on Syria. That's one thing that could impact what we're seeing and what we might do. Okay, we are at 12, so 16 to 20 is number 1. Sell 23s to 27, sell 1. Again, if the Emini is breaking hard, we do not want any part of the short side. 31 to 03, sell 2. 4 to 8, number 1. 29.01, buy 1. 21.25, buy 2. Can't move the paper if you take it straight down. Gold was higher, or it was a couple hours ago. And we have that 55.56. Get through that, then the next stop is 65. So 55 to 65 is pretty stout resistance. It's where the market has stopped before, and you can see right here we do have some rejection above 55. If I do that split, we have some rejection above 52. Do that split again. So 52 to 65 is where the market has rejected prices on gold. Strong. Gold actually took off a little earlier, as did treasuries, in anticipation of this, but that's where we are. So 54, 56, sell 1. 59.61, sell 2. On the buy side, 48 to 50, buy 1. 45.47, buy 2. Okay, Draghi spoke at 7 Eastern. Let's see what that looks like. I didn't see that the market had reacted all that much. So right here is 7 Eastern. Rallied from, looks like 24.27 up to 47, about 20 ticks. So right here's when Draghi picked up the mic, so they liked what he said. Pretty tight, so 45 to 55, sell 1. 75, sell 2. Looks like we're going for stops above 125 even right now. 24.25, buy 1. 124 even, buy 2. Like I said, there was one article out there that said France and England, the UK, would join the US in its missile strikes on Syria. Not too hard to get France to go with you. France is somewhat aggressive. In attacks in the Middle East and Northern Africa, more so than the UK has been on Syria and places like that. The UK is much more active in Iraq, Afghanistan, other places than France is. So they've kind of split responsibilities in that sense. Crude oil started rallying yesterday on talks of $80 crude oil. We are continuing it. Syria is not a big oil producer, but tensions in the Middle East. What you do is you remove the component, the selling component, from the spec side of the market, and you can see right here that 66.50, 66.75 is pretty good resistance, and we're there. So what do all good traders do? They fade resistance first time into it. So selling 50 to 75, sell 1. 67, 67 and a quarter would be new highs for this move for sell 2. The breakout came from 91, so 75 to 66 buy 1. And 25 to 50 buy 2. Okay, today is inventory report. APIs, crude built 1.8. It was expected to draw. Gasoline built 2 million barrels. It is the time of year when they're building inventories for gasoline for summer driving. I think distillates drew 3.8. Right now, the prog is for a draw of 600,000 barrels, and I don't know what it is on crude and on gasoline and distillates. So that's where we find ourselves. We can anticipate about 40 ticks of range. So Wednesday mornings till 10:30 Eastern don't offer us a lot of opportunity, and I imagine that will be the case today. The trade that the structure and everything tells us is find a place to buy it. If we can't extend the range, can't get through 66.50, then we can get short. Okay, the Emini is going to drive gold and treasuries today. And again, the initial reaction to war in equities is they sell. And then everybody sees what the ramifications of war really are and which companies will prosper and make a lot of money, and then stock markets usually come back after the wars start. That's war. This will be an attack. It's not war. So you can compress that time frame on it. So I believe we have a rumor fact situation right here. I do think we have one sell left in the market, but if we can't bust 26, 25, you know, everybody's talking about the attack. It's not really going to be surprise news. So 31, 39s to 44, sell 1, 49 to 54, sell 2, 21, 26, buy 1, and 11 to 16, buy 2. Syria, trade wars. will be the news focus. CPI unchanged, core CPI plus 0.2. Atlanta business Fed, who cares? Crude inventories. Then the next look will be FOMC minutes, and they'll be looking to see how strong the language is about the economy, about the job situation, and when they're going to raise interest rates the next time. Right now, the Fed has told us that they're raising interest rates in June. Okay, it's going to take a bit to get everything up and published. I'm going to get busy on that, get it all in the right spot. I'll be back with you as soon as possible.